welcome in everybody to Grown Up Fantasy Football. Joey Marino here, joined with my two co-hosts, Zach Maziarz, James Reiner. And we got a lot on the docket today.
We do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's a lot going on in the league right now.
Yep. We're going to bring you some news and updates, a little bit of Hard Knocks reactions, and today we're giving a bold prediction each, and we will be going over some top league punishments for your season. Maybe you want to incorporate these into your league if you really want to humiliate your losers.
Should be a lot of fun this episode.
Hopefully you won't ever have to use these league punishments for yourself because you'll never come in last.
Not if you listen to us.
Exactly. Wait, you're saying they will come in last if they listen to us?
They will not if they listen to our advice.
They will not come in last.
That's
you
right.
will
Great
not
take.
use these punishments. All
right. You guys ready to get into some news?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
News and updates.
Okay. All right, so let's get into some news. All right, so starting off, Leonard Fournette was released. What do y'all think about that? What are y'all's thoughts? The Jaguars weren't able to get anything for him. He hit the waivers, and no one claimed him, actually. So he's a free agent right now. So what do y'all think about that? What do y'all think about Leonard Fournette being out there in the open world?
You know, it's bizarre to me that no team wanted him. No trades were offered. No one's claiming him on waivers. So that tells me it's something personal, but I guess the biggest question for us, where is he going drafts now? Because I feel like someone's going to pick him up, and he's still a very good fantasy running back, so I don't know where to value him.
Right. I'm afraid, I think the reason why no one picked him up was because of the $4 million that they would have to get and take in. But I don't know. I'm nervous where he could go. I know there's some exciting places he could go. I'd like to see him go to, Chicago with David Montgomery kind of battling some injury right now. But at the same time, I'm also afraid. I've heard the Chiefs are actually looking into him, and I do not want the Chiefs to get him. I want Clyde Edwards-Helaire to be his own back and not have any competition. And I just feel like if he went there, that'd be like the LaShawn McCoy last year of, just vulturing touches from Damian Williams. So I don't know.
Definitely.
I could see certain places being good, other places I'm a little afraid. So,
one place I was kind of thinking of was Pittsburgh, possibly.
Yeah.
But I don't think they had the cap space to work it out. Another one was Washington, but, they're kind of stockpiling running backs right now. So I don't know if Fournette would really play into, their plans. I think Chicago is a realistic destination. New England, maybe another destination, but, he's free to go anywhere.
I think the Jets, when it comes to a running back, are always a contender. Even though they have about 4 right now, I think Adam Gase would love a 5th option to throw in there for touches to make the average touches per game about 2 for each running back. So can't rule out the Jets ever.
No, you can't. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see where he lands. But he's going to land somewhere, though, definitely.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
So let's say your fantasy draft is tomorrow. We don't know where Leonard Fournette's going. What round do you take Leonard Fournette in?
I know he wasn't going, he was going still, in the 4th or so, which I didn't understand. I've always liked Leonard Fournette as a talent. I understand there's been some drama with him, but I honestly think that's more of the Jaguars organization than it was with him, with so many players trying to get out of there. So, as a talent, I love him. I think he's a great running back. With that said, though, I don't think I would get him until, the maybe 7th or 8th round. I wouldn't want, just in case, if he does go to a place I don't know, the Chiefs or somewhere like that where he really is just going to be kind of that backup role, get a couple touches every now and then. I don't want him and don't want to be spending that high draft capital on him or a mid-round draft capital. So the earliest I would take him would be the 7th, 8th round probably. But, you never know. You could get him and then in a couple of days Chicago signs him and he's actually the workhorse back there because, as a talent, I think he is better than David Montgomery. So it really is that kind of risk factor right now.
Yeah.
So you're saying 7th or 8th, and I tend to agree with you. But someone else who's going around the 7th or 8th and sometimes the 6th is your running back, Lamar Jackson comparison, Kareem Hunt. So my question would be, would you rather have Kareem Hunt in that second back role or a Leonard Fournette on, say, the Bears?
I would still say Kareem Hunt. I see him as an RB2 with Leonard Fournette going to the Bears. If first of all, he'd have to go to the Bears. Second of all, he'd actually have to win that starting job with David Montgomery already being there. Coming back from injury, yeah, but it probably would take a little bit of time for him to win that starting job if he did. And then on top of that, they'd probably still split some carries just because Montgomery's been there longer. So I'd still rather have Hunt. I think he's a good RB2 and has the potential to be an RB1, if anything happens with Chubb. And then with that Stefanski offense, who knows? He could even be an RB1 without Chubb being injured. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I think the highest I'd be willing to draft Fournette is 6th round, just because I think he could be an RB1 wherever he lands. I think that's
right there
right.
with you. Right there with
well,
you.
apparently none of the teams thought that and picking him up off waivers yet. So who knows? Maybe we'll get a signing one of these days. But let's stay on the running back topic and talk about Alvin Kamara. So this one kind of hit us all out of nowhere. We saw Alvin Kamara missed a couple of days of practice, and then there were talks of a holdout. Then the Saints came out and said, hey, we might actually trade him. And then
Crazy.
It came out that the reason why he was out was because he received epidural shots. So a lot to unpack here. And now it's kind of simmering down, saying the contract talks and negotiations are still underway. Things are getting better. But there was a lot of kind of stormy weather there for Kamara within just like 1 or 2 days. So what are y'all's thoughts there? What do y'all think is going to happen? Does he stay in New Orleans? Does he go somewhere else? Does he hold out? Or I guess the more popular thing now is holding in with the
Yeah, sure. I think it looks like the situation was resolved. It looks like things kind of got blown out of proportion yesterday. This might hurt his draft stock, though, and I don't know if someone's worried about that. They might not. What was he going as the 4th overall pick in most drafts? 5th?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to take that risk if there's someone who I think would be almost just as good. So
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I think the bigger thing to think about with Kamara is the epidural shot.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's getting epidural shots a week or 2 before the season, that's a little alarming. And I mean, the upside is, a running back 1. But, he could miss a couple of games in here towards the beginning of the season, maybe longer. I don't know. So
yeah, I'm definitely moving him down my rankings.
Yeah.
I'm nervous about those epidural shots too. I saw a couple of tweets saying how the epidural shots are really short term. They're not to cure anything. They're not to help with anything. It's really to alleviate something, and it's very short term. So with that being said, that's kind of scary. It's almost like one of those Todd Gurley type situations where, which Kamara never really has been one of those workhorse backs where you have him in on all 3 downs, but it still is very concerning with the smaller amount of touches that he has had. He's very efficient, yet he is still having some of that wear apparently with these epidural shots he's having to receive. So definitely a red flag there. I'm definitely moving him down in my rankings because I don't know, that scares me. And then what scares me too is the fact that the Saints are kind of throwing out those trade talks saying, yeah, we'll trade him. We're open to trading him. To me, that's not something, if they get something worked out with the contract, that's awesome. But also, I'd want to be backed by my organization and not be told, oh, well, we're open to trading you. So there's that. And I heard that like 4 teams actually inquired about him once they said that. So to me, that's a little scary. That doesn't seem like something where the Saints have his back as much as he probably would have liked. So I don't know. There's a lot to unpack there with that situation.
how high are you guys valuing Latavius Murray from this news?
If we could see an actual Alvin Kamara holdout, if he actually held out, I would say Murray would go probably late 2nd, early 3rd round. Because last year you saw it when Kamara was out, Murray was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
He was playing lights out. He was getting all the touches. So I could see them doing great great things with Murray again, I would honestly say, if you were guaranteed that holdout, but you're not, so I don't know. It's tough to say. It is a risk still taking him. But yeah, if you could tell me that Kamara was missing time, then yeah, I would say third round, maybe, late second.
Yeah, I'd say third.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But then you also have to wonder, too, like who, say he did hold out or say they actually did end up trading him. Devontae Freeman's still on the market. Leonard Fournette's on the market now. So you never know. You might not be wanting to spend up that draft capital because the Saints could still bring in another running back if something did happen with Kamara, which I don't think they're going to trade him at this point after all the stuff that's coming out now. So
Yeah.
let's see. More news. Eagles, basically their entire team seems like they're getting injured. We got Jalen Reagor injury. He's going to be missing the season opener, possibly more. That just bumps up to me Deshaun Jackson. Honestly, that bumps up Miles Sanders a little bit to me too, just because I know he's battling an injury right now, which that's a little concerning. But what weapons do they have? They have no one. Alshon Jeffrey's missing time. They have Zach Ertz. They've got good tight ends, but it just seems like they're just dropping like flies to where I'm like, okay, they're going to have Miles Sanders. If anyone was afraid or nervous that, oh, this is just coach talk, they're not actually going to have Sanders as a bell cow running back. I think with all these injuries, they're like going to actually have to if they weren't already planning on that. So what are y'all's thoughts on Jalen Reagor and just the Eagles in general?
Yeah. So Deshaun Jackson, I mean, the past few years, until he gets injured, he's racking up the fantasy points. So, I mean, he's still getting drafted pretty late. So I feel like you got to pick him up in those late rounds, even if it's just for 4 good weeks max. I mean, that's worth it to have 20 points on your team every week for 4 weeks.
Right.
So
Yeah,
I'm all in
definitely.
on Deshaun Jackson.
Right. And that's one of those situations, too, kind of like the Texans almost, where they're saying, they got rid of Hopkins, and they're saying, hey, Will Fuller, he's going to be our number one. He's going to be our guy and our wide receiver one on the team. To me, he's kind of the same comparison as Deshaun Jackson. That field stretcher, super quick. This boosts Deshaun Jackson as the number one. Instead of being that field stretcher now, like he is actually the number one on the, I guess behind Ertz maybe. But yeah, this just gives him more opportunity to do more than just stretch the field. So for sure, I definitely would move him up.
Yep, definitely big jump for Deshaun Jackson.
Also, same team, Carson Wentz injured. Y'all nervous about that? I know they said it was just a soft tissue injury day to day. I know Peterson said he's not really worried, and besides Reagor, I think he said all of their injuries they'll be good to go by week 1 probably. So, any thoughts?
If he's ready to play week 1, then great. If Jalen Hurts is the starter week 1, I'm definitely worried about playing any Eagles wide receivers for sure.
All right, so moving on, Tyrell Williams, he is suffered a torn labrum. He is on IR now, out for the season. What are y'all's thoughts on Ruggs and Bryan Edwards after this injury?
All in on Ruggs.
Yeah.
Tremendous talent. I was already valuing him and drafting him in all my mock drafts, so I think Ruggs should have a great year with this news.
Yeah, Bryan Edwards definitely going to rise, but we'll be hearing a little bit about Henry Ruggs in later on today.
Oh,
Okay.
Maybe.
All right. Last bit of news until the foreseeable future. Derwin James out for the season. Thoughts on the Chargers D after this? I know some people were saying they're going to be a very staunch defense this season. Does this affect y'all's rankings of them at all? Where you're kind of viewing them, or what are your
Definitely.
thoughts? Yeah.
Yeah, I think teams are going to be able to pass on him now.
Yep.
Well, you still got Chris Harris back there, but, I mean, Derwin James is incredibly versatile. He can play the running, play the pass, he can play pretty much any secondary position he needs to play. So, I mean, that definitely drops San Diego's defense down a notch for sure.
Right. And part of me, which I'm not excited at all about Derwin James getting injured, like that's terrible. But with the Chargers defense, I thought they were going to be such a good defense that Tyrod Taylor would be able to come in and just be a game manager, like always, because their defense was going to be very good. With, this injury, I could see, and I don't know, maybe they would need some more injuries, God forbid that happens, but with their defense being dropped down a little bit, I could see it being more of, okay, we have to come back some games. You know, we actually can't just rely on a good defense and then managing the game, which I don't know. Does that make you guys think that Justin Herbert could come in a little bit sooner than rather than later? Because honestly, I think Tyrod's going to be, you know, that middle of the pack, manage these games, win a couple, that's it. I feel like Justin Herbert's going to be the one to be like the Ryan Fitzpatrick almost. Okay, we just got to bomb it down the field. You know, we have to do what we can do to win these games. So does this affect the offense to you guys at all, having that key injury on defense?
I don't know if because of this injury it affects the offense, but I think Herbert's definitely going to take that starting job. He's looking awesome in the Hard Knocks footage and everything. He looks like a prototype NFL quarterback, so I'm all in on Herbert.
Right.
I mean, I think I like Tyrod a little better, but I definitely see a situation where they get behind. And, I mean, I think Tyrod can sling it, but, I mean, if you're watching Hard Knocks, Herbert throws a pretty ball.
He
It's
does.
not all
Yeah,
editing.
it looks awesome.
It's actually edited. They basically just cut it right when it leaves his finger and then a little still clip of a football going and then edit it back in. So.
Hard Knocks reactions.
All right, so moving on to Hard Knocks. What was y'all's thoughts? Episode 4. How many more episodes do we have? Is it just one more?
Should be one more.
One more. So what were y'all's thoughts on the 4th episode?
Not a lot of football. It was a very political episode with everything that's happening right now. But the one thing, I can't believe how high Austin Eckler can jump. He was clearing like 5 of those things. That's insane.
Yeah.
And he's like, what, 5'6"?
Yeah. He's not that tall.
He's not 5'6", no.
An athletic
Well,
freak
he's
of nature.
bald, so that helps with the aerodynamics, right?
Aerodynamic.
Right. Yeah, no, he's a monster. I feel like I'm like, I don't know, he's just like a stereotype like beast from watching this season. So yeah, I don't know. Hard Knocks like this year to me has been just kind of boring. Like I know I wasn't here last episode with you guys, but episode 3 I was like, okay, like can we see something better than Brett Favre and a 7th round linebacker talk for 5 minutes? Like I love Brett Favre to death, but I'm just like, okay, come on, like show some football stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just salivating for the season and ready for the season, so I don't even care about this or something. But I don't know. But
I completely agree. I feel like there's been a lot more football in the previous Hard Knock seasons, and
right.
a lot
Well,
less
this
talking.
offseason's been way different than any
Yeah.
other offseason with coronavirus and all the
Yeah,
social
they're trying to
justice
fit in like
movement.
all this other stuff, you know,
Right.
that's different this offseason. I can understand that, but
Yeah, sure.
one thing I can't understand is, and I've been meaning to bring this up, and it just becomes more apparent each episode. Does Tyrod Taylor, like, not like physically he looks fine, but like, I just feel like he's letting himself go. Like he's almost at the I don't care stage. Like his hair is like really long and everywhere, and his beard's all muffled. Like it's almost like I'm scared that I keep saying Justin Herbert's going to come in like after a game or two and win out the job. But now I'm not sure. Now I feel like Tyrod Taylor's going to be like the Ryan Fitzpatrick and just like go out there, chip on his shoulder, doesn't care at all. He's lost the starting job a couple of times, you know, to where he's just like, wow, he's good. He has nothing to lose anymore.
I don't know. I feel like he has his legs, and that's about it. I don't think he has a big play capability to make those passes down the field, just from
Right.
his history and what I've seen lately. So
It just seems funny to me. I feel like he's still in quarantine. Joey, any reactions on the episode?
I'll be honest, I didn't watch a whole lot of it. I couldn't catch it.
You didn't miss a whole lot.
Unfortunately, yeah, it doesn't look like I missed too much football. But, you know, it's good to see, you know, players and coaches advocating to use their voice and their platform. Nothing wrong with that at all. But, yeah, that was kind of a lot of my take.
Yeah. One thing I will say, last thing on the episode, I thought they were gonna, and I forgot. I knew Mike Williams had gotten injured with that shoulder sprain, and I forgot that it matched up with this episode. So when they were like, you know, talking him up at the beginning of the episode, I was like, oh gosh, another, you know, let's all talk up Mike Williams this season, and then he ends up just being kind of average, and we're just going to keep doing this each year. And then he ended up getting injured, like, the next little clip. So I was like, okay, they edited that in to make sure, like, like, hey, let's talk him up. And then, oh, my gosh, he got injured. So, but I was like, oh, my gosh, this is going to be a whole nother year of hyping up Mike Williams. So I guess not.
Yeah.
But, yeah. All right. Well, awesome. Well, let's move on to our bold predictions. So bold predictions, we wanted to do this before the season started. I know we have one more episode before the season actually starts, but that episode is probably going to be more of like predictions, more of like reviews of the games, things like that, and what to look out for the first week of NFL season. So we wanted to get in some bold predictions here just to see what we got going on for this season. So James, you want to get us started? What's your bold prediction for the 2020 fantasy season?
All right. As a Washington football team fan, I went with Terry McLaurin finishes as the wide receiver #1 in fantasy football this year.
Wow. That's pretty
He had a
bold.
great rookie season. Second-year wide receivers, usually that's when they break out. That's when DeAndre Hopkins broke out, Josh Gordon a while back. And him and Dwayne have been looking great in practice. They look like they have chemistry. I've seen a lot of great plays Scary Terry's been making. I think this is his year. I'm excited.
I could see that. I love Scary Terry. The only thing I couldn't see and that holds him back to me from being the actual wide receiver 1 is Dwayne Haskins. You look at someone like Michael Thomas, he's got Drew Brees thrown to him. You look at someone like Devonta Adams, he has Rodgers thrown to him. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, they have Brady. Terry McLaurin is a great talent. He is a phenomenal receiver. To do the things he did last year in his rookie season is amazing. But Dwayne Haskins, I think he needs some more time to grow. So I think that's the only thing holding him back. Who knows? Maybe he could finish as the wide receiver 1. Maybe it'll take a couple of years, but I for sure think he could at some point because he is a phenomenal talent.
That's pretty bold. I would say he finishes as a wide receiver 1, but I agree with Zach. I mean, I think Dwayne Haskins needs a little more time. And a little while ago, it seemed like there was a little bit of a competition, potentially, between, career resurrected Alex Smith.
That would be insane.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I could see a wide receiver 1 finish, but we'll see. That's a very bold take, indeed.
Gotta be bold. Gotta be. All right, so Joey, why don't you give us your bold prediction for the 2020 season?
All right, will do. So my bold prediction for 2020 is Las Vegas Raiders wide receiver Henry Ruggs III will be the #1 wide receiver.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's not possible with Terry McLaurin supposed to finish as the #1, though.
But yes, it is, because I did not predict Terry McLaurin to be
1A,
#1.
1B. Okay.
So, obviously, the Tyrell Williams injury boosted, this prediction to where it could be possible. But
Boost up.
Sorry. But was that a little Jingle All the Way reference?
Yes. Had to throw that in there.
So I'm kind of loving this take because Henry Ruggs was super productive in college. He was surrounded by a great cast at Alabama, had Tua Tagovailoa throwing to him, and now he's got Derek Carr throwing to him. And last season, Derek Carr threw for over 4,000 yards. So he's slinging it all over the field. And it's a John Gruden team, so they're going to want to pass the ball. And the offensive line for Vegas, I want to say Oakland, was rated, I think, #1 or #2 by Pro Football Focus. And Derek Carr had an 88% protection rate, which ranked #1 according to Player Profiler statistics. So shout out Roto Underworld again. And I just think I love the opportunity and I love the talent. I think he could definitely be a wide receiver 1, but I think to go even bolder, the #1 wide receiver.
Yep.
So what do you think?
I could see it. I mean, I think he's a great talent. He honestly, besides Waller now, is one of their only receiving options. So, yeah, and they have a great line, like you said. They protect. The only thing that is my concern is that Derek Carr, you've seen those spurts of elite quarterback play, and then you've seen those spurts of let me just throw like a 5-yard dig because I don't know what to do right now. So it's, you don't get like a whole lot of consistency. There's times where you just kind of get that game manager. There's times where you get that lights out quarterback play. So yeah, I'm definitely interested to see what they do and what Derek Carr does in this Gruden offense now. So yeah, I could see it. Wide receiver one. I don't know. I could honestly see Terry McLaurin more as a wide receiver one, the wide receiver one on the season than Henry Ruggs. But yeah. I mean, it's bold. It's bold for sure.
I like Henry Ruggs a lot this year. He can't finish as a wide receiver one because that's going to be scary Terry. But
okay,
right.
Yeah, I think he's a great talent. Derek Carr does kind of scare me. His quarterback play is inconsistent. And I don't know if he can really make those down the field throws that Ruggs would need to be a wide receiver one. And rookie wide receivers, I don't think any rookie wide receivers ever finish as the wide receiver one in fantasy football. But I'm excited for Henry Ruggs. I think he'll have a great season.
Right.
All valid takes, but to counter your short passing game, Derek Carr, Henry Ruggs was taking slants in college to the house. He was a yak machine.
That's true.
So I could still see him taking some routes all the way to the end zone.
Yeah.
This ain't college though, Joey. This is the big leagues. He's with
he
the
can do
big
it.
boys now, Joey.
Playing with
He's a
big
big
boys
boy.
now.
He's a fast big
he's
boy.
playing. May I say, he's playing with grown-ups now.
Shout out to
All right,
Gus.
well, Zach,
Shout
give
out
us
to
your Zach, give
All
us
right, I'll
your
give you-
bold
yeah.
take.
Will do. My pleasure, Joey. So my bold take is I've actually got two because one of them wasn't bold enough to me. So one of them actually doesn't deal with fantasy players. One of them is just a flat out, I think the Dolphins are going to win their division this year. I know everyone's saying with the Patriots losing Tom Brady, with their organization kind of being on the decline a little bit, that the Bills are the ones to lose it. I think it's going to be the Dolphins division. So Jets, we can scrap them. No one cares about them. They're going to be last, okay? I think Patriots, Cam Newton, I think he's going to do well, but with his injury history, I think he is primarily, his bread and butter is the running game. He has to be able to run in order to be able to pass well. Otherwise, if you take out the run game from him, he is, maybe slightly above average at passing, at QB. With all of his injury history, I don't know. I could see him not running as much. I could also see him possibly getting a little tweak here and there and not being able to run as much to where, I don't know. And maybe, who knows, maybe it actually does take some time. Maybe he does okay this season to where they sign him on for a longer contract, but it takes a little bit to develop within that offense for him. So, and then on top of that, doesn't seem, they have Julian Edelman, they have N'Keal Harry, but you got to kind of wait and play it out to see which one's going to stick. So I could see them coming a little bit above the Jets, maybe flip-flopping with the Bills. Bills, I know Josh Allen's doing great. He's continuing to grow. He's doing awesome. Devin Singletary, I don't know. I don't view him insanely high, and ultimately I don't view their offense as like such a huge threat. I see their defense as a great defense. But yeah, their offense I don't see as like some super high threat offense. So I don't know. With all the cards playing well, I could see Fitzmagic coming out to start the season, doing his Fitzmagic stuff, and throwing bombs, getting Devontae Parker, getting Preston Williams and Mike Gesicki, all the passing work. They've got an upgrade at running backs at Jordan Howard and Matt Breida. Matt Breida, I love. His yards per carry was phenomenal as a 49er. So I can only see him doing good things, barring injuries. So. And then if Fitzmagic does his classic Fitzmagic thing where they start telling him he's the starter and start saying, a good contract's coming your way, he starts doing poorly, comes in Tua, and honestly, I could see Tua taking it to the house. I could see him learning a little bit under Fitzmagic to start the season and then actually doing fairly well in the offense. So that's one of my bold takes. And not really fantasy related. That's more football related. James, you're smirking. You look like you think I'm crazy.
I don't think there's a chance in hell this happens. I think they're going to lose their first 4 games. Fitzpatrick's going to go to the bench. Tua's going to come in, and they'll finish like 3 and whatever. That's what I think the most likely scenario is for the Dolphins.
We'll put a little pin mark in this. Joey, what are your thoughts? Tell me I'm crazy.
The thing that scares me with the Dolphins is right now is the offensive line. because they got to protect Tua and Fitzpatrick, and they got to block for Burita. I don't see that. What was Burita's yards per carry? Do you know off the top of your head?
I do not know it off the top of my head, no.
Well,
Dangerously
either way,
high.
I see it going down definitely in Miami, and but I mean, I could see a reality in an alternate universe with Miami taking the division, but I still agree with the pundits that.
Oh,
it's
I'm
Buffalo's.
sorry. This was a bold prediction for the bizarro NFL,
Oh,
not the
okay.
real
No, we're
NFL.
good. We're good. Never
Sorry,
mind.
y'all. I meant to clarify that. Okay, so that was a very bold take. So one that's actually geared more around fantasy, and this one will be less bold. I was going to make it pretty bold at first, but after seeing y'all's reactions with that, I'll probably simmer down. I could see Joe Mixon this season ending up as the RB1 for the season. Originally, I was going to say I could see him going 1,000 receiving, 1,000 rushing, but I'd like to see more of that passing down work. I think comps draw him towards Le'Veon Bell. I think with Joe Burrow being there, I think he's going to do well, but I also think that he's going to need to rely on his running back. You throw in A.J. Green, Tyler Boyd, hopefully a healthy A.J. Green. That opens up the offense, opens up the running lanes. And then with that new contract, I think that's just going to emphasize we need to get Joe Mixon this work as opposed to, oh, yeah, let's get, a 50-50 split or let's get Gio Bernard here on some of these carries. I think they're going to emphasize Joe Mixon within that offense, kind of showing off their newly signed piece. So, yeah. What do y'all think?
I had Joe Mixon in my top 10 RBs, and I kind of got some hate for that, but I think he's going to have a great year. I think we're going to have a much more improved Bengals offense.
Yep.
Agreed. I agree. Yeah, he's a top 10 running back for me. I could see him being the running back one, but I think he'd need those 1,000. He'd need that CMC kind of volume,
Right.
Which I think
and
is
I would
possible.
say that. Yeah,
think
I
is
would say
eventually
the 1,000, but I don't think they've. He for sure can catch. Like he's a great receiving back. He's that 3-down workhorse back, but. So far, they really haven't featured him in the passing game. So that's something I want to see before actually having that bold prediction of, okay, let's feature him in the passing game more, see how that goes. But yeah, I could definitely see him finishing as the RB1 on the season.
Hey, new regime.
All right, so the big topic today, top last place punishments for your fantasy league.
Top league punishments.
In our league, we have a last place punishment, and the loser is named by the winner in the next season. I've lost twice in our league, which makes me kind of an expert on the topic. We also have an opt-out clause if any of these punishments are too much for you. You pay a certain amount of money and you get out scotch-free. I've had to do that once because I couldn't handle the pressure. But and before we get into this, we are not legally responsible for anything that might happen if anyone tries to do any of these punishments.
No. Do not sue us, please.
Number 15, we have the Taco Bell draft. This is where everyone in your fantasy league orders Taco Bell, eats it, and then uses the restroom before the draft. The loser then has to do the entire draft from the bathroom.
Oh, man.
Like, they can't clean it or anything. They have to...
No flushing.
No spray?
Oh
my gosh.
No spray.
No matches?
That's bad.
No matches.
Oh, Lord. That's number
You
15.
came in last place. You need to be punished for your...
That might actually be a top one to me because I feel like I couldn't concentrate while drafting. I would actually make the wrong picks during my draft because it would just be so overwhelming being
Speed pick.
in there.
Just speed pick to get out of there. Good Lord.
I could see like people in our draft too, like rolling up a towel and stuffing it in the door crack just so that way it makes it even worse or something. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think this one is just too nasty for me, which is why I have it at 15. But number 14, we have the loser has to wear fake eye contacts out to a bar or something for the day. Y'all decide that. I don't really like this one. I think I'm not a fan. What are you guys' thoughts?
Yeah. I don't really see this being much of a punishment unless someone's squirmish about things going on their eyes. But yeah, I don't know what all like the extent of eye contacts could be because I don't know. I think it would be
Some
cool
tiger
to wear
eyes
like
or something.
red pair of eye contacts or something like that'd be cool to me. So I don't see this much as a punishment.
Yeah, give me those cat eyes. Peering around.
All right. Number 13, we have the loser has to shave their arms and legs. I've had to do this, and
No,
it was not
look-
fun.
How did it feel, James? Like, did it like what
It was
was
awful.
Did
the
it
the
burn?
phases of metamorphosis to get it back to normal?
It really didn't look that too weird. Really, I don't think you would really go, look, that guy has no arm hair, and call me out or anything like that. But
Right.
it was itchy. I cut myself shaving. That was probably the worst part.
Tried some Nair, didn't work. Did it?
I would hate that because I got.
Oh, yeah, Joe,
you're
of
Italian.
hair.
That's
Yeah,
hard.
all that Italian
Ugh.
hair.
People would notice. You'd have a definitive like farmer's tan on your arms from like the hair not being there. So yeah, that makes sense. James, did you tell people you were a swimmer if they asked?
No one asked. It never came up.
Okay.
I wore long sleeve and pants everywhere though. So
I could see this one
Protecting
being
myself,
fun, unless things keep going the way they are with like, quarantine, working from home and stuff, because then that's not as much publicity
cares?
to those barren arms and legs. So yeah.
all right, number 12, we have loser has to go to a furry meetup.
What is that?
Pretty
I'm sorry.
self-explanatory. What was that?
Like, you tell me what that is, because I have no idea.
You don't know what furries are?
Oh,
No, what is that?
They're the people who like to dress up as animals.
Oh gosh.
Yeah,
So
you have to go
would
to a
you-
meeting if you lose for this
oh
punishment.
man.
Would you have to dress up too, or would you just go there? Like, would it be more
I think
embarrassing
you
to
should,
dress
or
up,
you
or
could
to
probably
not dress
sound
up
like
to
a
be
sore
the odd
thumb.
one out?
Yeah,
I'd be more embarrassed to be the odd one out and not dress up.
Exactly, yeah.
Wow.
Oh man, that's a tough one. That's a really tough one.
A lot of these too are based on like your league has to decide what you like and what the personalities are. I know some of these coming up, our league, some of the people aren't as vocal or are a little more introverted, so some of these worked out really well for our league. So if you've got a bunch of extroverts and stuff who are willing to do this, you really need to base it kind of on the personalities within your league. So
Yeah, that's a
Definitely.
good point. That's a really good
Yeah.
point. So there's there's a closet furry in your league. Hey, or maybe not even.
Someone
a closet
discovers a new interest or hobby. For
furry. You never know. You never
guys,
know.
I'm not doing fantasy football anymore next year. I've got a new hobby.
All right, number 11, we have the baby stroller. This one is quite odd. You take a baby stroller into Walmart and push around either an empty baby stroller or a fake baby inside the stroller.
So this one is odd, but also this one would go to the bottom of my list only because I've done this. So we just had a baby
For
and
fun?
well, no, not for fun. We got a stroller for our baby, and I wanted to test it out, so we actually took it out and like just went around the block with it. But I mean,
God.
you can kind of like lower the thing to where you can't really tell, so it's not like, I don't know, it's not the worst.
Joey, what do you think?
With it being at Walmart, it doesn't. I don't know if it hits that hard.
Crazier things have happened. in the
I've
world.
seen some stranger things in Wally
You can do
World.
different locations. It's
You
entirely
could
up to you.
Probably
That's a
have
good
the
point.
furry meetup at Walmart too. So knock
bring
out
your
two
stroller.
birds with one stone there. Yeah.
All right, number 10. This is where it starts getting a little intense. The winner will walk the loser like a dog on a leash.
Oh man.
Do we have like time frames or like
I
that?
think,
Honestly, I could see that. We live by a park and there's a dog park there. That honestly might be the number one worst thing I could think of, going to that dog park and the loser being on all fours, acting like a dog in front of all these dog owners. That might actually be the top one to me. That's a
That's
terrible
pretty bad.
punishment.
It's pretty bad.
So can you combine the winner walks loser with the furry costume?
Oh,
Then
geez.
it's not so bad because then you're the dog then, right?
I would have nothing to do with this.
These are terrible
wanna-
because people have done these before. Like these
I
aren't
don't
just
wanna
like
lose.
ideas. These are people who have actually like done these punishments.
I wouldn't even want to be the winner, walking the loser in this situation. That's
a good point.
I might feel weirder doing that.
Yeah, I would probably say designate like as the winner. I would probably change the clause around a little bit and say the winner gets to designate who walks the loser. Because, that would be weird. I wouldn't want to be associated with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a
that's a
bad
good
idea.
point.
Number 9, we have the Waffle House Time Waster. This is where you just go to Waffle House, you get a booth, you sit there. You're not allowed to order anything. But you have to sit there for 4 hours. Not allowed to order anything.
Wow.
That's pretty bad. I'd hate to be that guy just sitting there, because that's the whole thing with Waffle House is people just wait on the booths. You seat yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And you're taking a booth by yourself for 4 hours. Man, think about the eyes on you.
Yeah, that's a jerk move.
God, that's pretty bad.
That is tough.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing that makes a good punishment. You want inconvenience, embarrassment, and shame, and that one's definitely inconvenience.
Yes.
Yeah, that one's huge on the inconvenience part.
All right, number 8, we have loser has to go to a timeshare presentation. Kind of a waste of time, too. The inconvenience
That's again the
factor.
inconvenience, yeah.
Oh, it'd be worse if you had to buy into it too. That would be terrible.
I
You
like
get
the
to pick.
ones where the league gets to interact a little bit. So, like, go to a timeshare presentation, and each league member gets to write down certain questions you have to ask during the timeshare meeting or something.
That's good.
So
I
that
like
way
a
the
lot,
league gets
actually.
to kind of, be a part of it.
All right, number 7, we have the Walmart helper. This is where you have to go to Walmart, put on some khakis and a blue shirt, and walk
Joey's
around
loving
Walmart
this.
asking people if they need help with anything.
No name tag, right?
I guess you could if you want. I don't know if you'd get in trouble for doing that. I have no idea.
What's great is that everyone has this apparel in their closet. Khakis and a blue shirt is at everyone's disposal, so...
A very universal punishment. Good. That's pretty bad.
Especially if you're an introvert like me. I couldn't go up to people and say, "Need
Hey,
help
what can I help
finding
you
this?"
with?
So that covers the inconvenience and embarrassment for you, James.
A little bit of the
Oh,
shame.
definitely. Yeah, that's all 3. Number 6, we have stand-up comedy. I had to do this, and I opted out. I did the buyout clause. I could not get myself to do it.
So this one was, this was one of our league punishments, and like I said, our league has like some more introverted people in it, so the stand-up comedy was like gold to us because we thought no one in this league would hate worse than to do stand-up comedy in front of anyone. So, and you have to use original jokes. You have to be up there for a certain amount of time. You can't have a sip of alcohol during that time. It's
You had to
literally
be completely
probably
sober.
Exactly. But there's certain people, like there was like probably 2 people in our league who we were like, they would enjoy this. And I don't know, who knows? They might actually find a new hobby doing this too. So yeah.
I feel like I'd enjoy that one too, honestly.
Yeah. You do have to base it on your league mates. So that for
Yeah.
us in our league though, that like James ended up opting out and paying everyone's league fee just so he didn't have to do that. So
Couldn't
that
handle
was
it.
pretty fun.
Sorry, guys. I let the league down. Number 5, we have you have to consume and finish 15 pancakes in one sitting.
That to me is just a good time. That's
Yeah.
not a punishment.
I'd enjoy that.
That's a good time.
I don't know if you guys realize how hard it is to eat 15 full pancakes.
It
Do
depends on how
start
big
to
the
lose
pancakes
the
are.
taste.
These are your medium-sized pancakes. I think if you go to let's say you go to Original House of Pancakes, I think you'd have to order 15 of their standard pancakes.
I've been to IHOP in so long. How big are those pancakes?
They're a good size.
I'm not
I feel
gonna lie,
like
when
I
you
could
said
do
Original House of Pancakes, I thought that was some new store I'd never heard about. And then when you said IHOP,
Wait,
I was like, oh,
it's
yeah.
international.
Yeah,
Not
I meant
original.
OHOP. Yeah, Original House of
OHOP.
Pancakes.
Oh,
IHOP too. You can go anywhere you
hop,
want to order these.
Any,
We
any of the
hop.
hops.
the hops.
I feel like
Alright.
I'd enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I'd enjoy it for like the first 3, and then
Pancakes too, like, I don't know. When I eat pancakes, I can eat about 5. And then after that, it just all starts to lose its taste and become very discouraging to eat. So I could see 15 being depressing.
number 4, loser has to get a perm. You can go to any Great Clips in America and get yourself a perm for $75.
God. That's. Oh, man. I don't know about that. That's a bad one right there.
I can see you looking good in a perm, Joey.
Well, because I have curly hair.
Yeah. Shave
Well, too
the
bad.
arms and legs, get a perm.
Just
That's a new
the whole
look.
9 yards.
Yeah.
I think
don't
what you'd
know.
have to do is you'd get the perm and you have to go out with your friends that night to a bar or something and wash out the next day. I think if you keep in your hair for more than 24 hours, it's permanent for 6 months. So you need to wash that thing out fast.
Good Lord. Yeah, that you can't do that long. No way. Oh, my God. That's a bad one. That's a bad one.
All right, number 3, and this is what our current last place punishment is that has to be done before our draft this Sunday. You have to dress up as a Boy Scout and sell lemonade.
You don't have to join the Boy Scouts to do this.
No.
Right.
Heavens no.
Where are you going to find a uniform?
Just, I think something similar would
All right,
work.
all right.
I don't think you can legally impersonate a Boy Scout, so yeah, it'd have to be just something similar.
I love how you can't legally impersonate a Boy Scout.
Like it's a doctor or something. Who cares?
He told me he could tie a double Windsor knot.
I believed him. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's my brother is having to do that punishment, and that's almost worse for me, like the anxiety feeling inside of me than actually doing it myself, just knowing he has to do it. So we'll see. I don't think many people will buy lemonade from a grown man, but who knows? Maybe it's a hot one.
I'd
So,
stay 100 yards away, maybe
Yeah.
more.
At
You
least
might get
6
the cops
feet.
called on him.
Number 2, we have the loser has to dress up as a deer. Everyone else has a paintball gun and goes hunts him.
James, I
great
feel
one.
like after hearing some of these, you really want to dress up as an animal.
No, I don't want to do any of these.
Oh, man. That's
James, how
That's
many
a
of
good one.
these so far that you've listed, what's like a percentage that you would rather pay the league fees for the next year than do these? Like, how many of them would you actually do over paying the league fees?
I think I only wouldn't do like 3 or 4 of them.
Okay. That's not bad. I'd probably do, well, I don't know. That furry meetup one is kind of weird. Or the all fours, the walking one to me is just very bizarre.
yeah.
Just
can't
because
do
I,
that perm.
go by that dog park like all the time and just to see a grown man. I don't know.
God.
Yeah, I couldn't. That would probably be the only one for me.
How about you, Joey?
I could not do the perm. That's for sure.
Really?
Definitely not
That
doing
of
the
all-
So you basically already have
You would
one.
rather walk like a dog than get a perm.
You know what? Yeah, there's a few I'm opting out of on this list. That's for sure. The perm included.
Number 1, you have to take the ACT or SAT, whatever's your local test.
Yeah.
This one's awful. It's just an absolute waste of 4+ hours. I mean, your Saturday's gone if
I
you're doing
think this
this.
hits all of the criteria. You're
Yeah.
inconvenienced. Your entire Saturday's gone. You're having to pay to take a test you've probably already taken. You're with a bunch of like high schoolers probably, and on top of that, you're not guaranteed a good score. Like I'd be scared to see what I got, and then
I
sharing
think-
it with your league mates.
Yeah, I think we were talking if we did this, you'd have to make like above a certain score or you'd have to take it again.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, man. Or you get kicked out of the league.
Not deemed fit to be in the league.
There's a certain IQ.
Don't make a certain amount. You have to apply for grants and scholarships for the rest of the summer.
Oh, that's pretty bad. That's pretty
Oh,
bad.
man. Those were good. I could I guess bottom line, don't come in last place. Don't ever have
Yeah.
to
God,
worry
no.
about this.
That's the whole thing. But I think that about wraps it up for
Yeah.
today's episode. If you're a first-time listener, we are Grown Up Fantasy Football. Go check us out on YouTube. We got a Twitter account too. Go give us a follow at GrownUpFF. We are at all your convenient podcast locations, and please like and subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below of what you think the worst punishment out of that list was, or if you've got another punishment, let us know. Let us know.
Also,
let us know what your
real
league is doing.
quick, want to throw out there too. Since we're talking about losers of the league, I actually won our league, so I get to name the loser. So please leave a comment letting me know what I should name the loser of our league. Leave a comment, tweet us, something to let me know, because I'm struggling right now trying to figure out some good names to name them. So let us know.
Yeah. All right. Go like and subscribe. Go grow up and get guffed.
Peace.